2017. The first item on our agenda is the animal control agreement with the town of Seymour. Tony Genovese couldn't be here this evening, and he's been talking to Seymour about renewing the contract. Everything is going very well. They're very eager to continue with the town of Woodbridge. They have not finalized certain aspects of the agreement. One is the amount that Seymour will be paying, and well, actually, that's the only part that is not finalized. The only other change from the last contract is that there will now be an automatic rollover provision. Seymour had not wanted that for their first year, but now they're interested in doing that. So
automatic unless terminated.
Right, yeah, there's an
exactly.
option to terminate, but the presumption is that it will continue.
Sounds good.
So money, why, they want to pay more, is that what they're?
We've asked for more.
Yeah, we've asked for more, yeah.
Yeah.
And Tony's been talking to them, but couldn't get it concluded, but asked that this board authorize the first selectman to sign the agreement with Seymour, as I've described it, subject to satisfactory negotiations on the part of the first selectman and approval by town council, because it needs to get done by the end of the year. So if there is such a motion.
By the end of this
June
month.
30th.
Yeah, at the end of the fiscal year, I
Fiscal
meant.
year.
Sorry, yeah. I will entertain that motion.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Any questions or discussion?
It will otherwise mirror this.
Otherwise, Tony said
It's
basically the
almost
same.
identical. Okay.
Okay, anything else? All those in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Thank you.
Heard that.
The second item on the agenda, we are going to defer. When the Personnel Committee met earlier, and there was some information that we needed that was not available to make a decision on this item, so we'll be deferring that at this time. And the next item is the minutes of the June 14th meeting. The firearms ordinance as included in these draft minutes was incorrect, so I'd like to pass out the correct language that would be substituted in the minutes. It just wasn't complete, there was a paragraph missing.
Who determined this, Beth?
No, I didn't see
No,
it.
Beth found something else. So,
Of course, sorry.
So are we working on the Board of Selectmen regular meeting, or are we working on the public hearing minutes?
oh, we do them separately?
Yeah.
Oh. Let me see what,
Regular meeting,
Jerry,
public hearing.
I don't see,
Here. You want to use mine? Public hearing?
It's
No,
like
that's,
three
is that the
pages,
ordinance,
right?
or is that, is
Yeah,
that minutes?
pages.
It's 3 pages.
That's the minutes.
See at the
and
top?
page 1 through, oh, I don't have that, I only have pages 1 through 12. Okay. In that case, okay, so this amendment goes with these minutes.
for a regular
Okay.
meeting.
So I will move approval of the minutes of the public hearing to receive comments regarding the 2017 Neighborhood Assistance Act application and the leash law and firearms ordinances as amended by the firearms language that I have just distributed. Is there a second?
Second.
Well, okay, I just want to make sure, is the ordinance language in these minutes, right?
No, not in the public hearing.
I don't think you distributed anything. She distributes it?
Okay, so I'm sorry, I'll amend that motion. I'll move approval of the minutes of the public hearing as we've received them.
Okay.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any questions or discussion? If not, all those in favor?
What? Yes, that's what we're doing?
I abstained.
Just the public hearing.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
Okay. All right, now, okay, I will move approval of the Board of Selectmen regular meeting minutes of June 14th, 2017 with the amended firearms language as distributed this evening. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Any questions or discussion?
Couple,
Yeah.
do you guys remember, did Bob Gilbert say the enrollment is 779 or 799?
It's 99.
I think he said
Yeah,
790.
okay.
Because I made the comment about just one
Okay,
more.
that's on
Yeah.
page 3. And I think pretty much considering it's 12 pages, you did a phenomenal job. So, okay, I
Any-
just couldn't hear it. That's what I thought too. Okay.
Anything else on those minutes? If not, all those in favor?
Aye.
That concludes our business, and before we adjourn, I would just like to thank all the board members for the work you've done on behalf of the town over these past years. I certainly feel I've gotten to know a lot about each of you, and we've done a lot of good work for the town over this time. I also want to particularly thank Tony Genovese, Betsy Yagler, Jerry Shaw, and Jerry Weiner for their assistance for our board. It's really made a huge difference in how we operate and how things move along. And congratulations to Beth
Thanks.
and Joe and all the members of the new board.
Thank you.
With that, is there a motion to adjourn?
Can we not adjourn yet? Can I do one more thing? Kind of.
Oh, sure.
Is that okay?
Yes, discussion?
Can you stay right here 1 minute?
Sure. I move
Is
that
there-
Beth can do something.
Whatever it is.
Okay, just everybody stay in place for 1 minute, please. Thank you.
This better be good.
I have a partner in crime.
Don't do it like a cake or something.
Yeah, some lady's gonna pop out of it.
Can we talk?
What's
think
going
she's
on
left
with
town.
What's going on with the restaurants in town? Tony, you tell me. How's one
She
coming?
ran away. She's not coming back.
Not so great?
Doing better.
Susan?
We still don't have that. Cell owners.
Cowboy, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, from the traffic.
I read 60 pages
Yeah.
of policy.
Do you read for content? You can't read for content.
Well, I
You
read
do
it a number of times. So I'm reading it again to make sure that the copy editing got translated correctly into the language. And it's remarkable how many
You should.
Well, there is a paid copy if you can believe this.
Are you going to say anything to him?
Well, Stephen already did. I think he got him fired off his phone.
Oh.
Well, thank you very much.
Oh.
Very nice.
So it seemed like a good idea at the time.
Thank you very much. Lovely.
I was gonna say,
Thank you.
grew up with these.
Bring them home to your wife and say, look what I got you, honey. I worked all day.
I can't believe it. I thought about it for weeks.
Don't tell them what you got. Just don't tell them what you got.
Well, as long as she's not watching television,
Yeah.
because then the secret's out.
I'm on it, there's no chance of that.
And then Joe and I are sort of partners in crime in this, right?
Yeah.
I told you ahead of
You
time.
did tell me
Yes,
that.
I did.
I was like, Joe doesn't get flowers.
There's a cat. There's a combination.
We have for
She
each
told
one of
me.
you a certificate of appreciation, and it's for being a faithful and generous servant. And Jerry got the dates correct and everything, and I signed them. Awarded today, one to Ellen
You?
and
That's
Susan.
very nice, thank
And
you.
if the dates are wrong, I didn't do it. And
The spelling of your name is fine.
yeah. Thank you.
Oh, Joe doesn't get one. He
Well, I
doesn't.
did say, I did say
Don't
that,
get one.
I don't get
Beth
one
and
either.
I should be getting these because we have 2 more years.
Yes, exactly.
Go home.
So
We should be
I'm
getting-
sure Joe and I both feel it's been an honor and a privilege really for me to serve with you over the last few years, and we've had our robust discussions, but we're all on the same team, Team Woodbridge. So thank you all, guys, and I'm going to
Thank you,
miss you.
Deb.
And don't leave town because I might need your help. So thanks for staying a little bit
Thank
longer
you.
so we can do
Thank
this.
you. That was
That's
lovely.
very nice, very nice.
Motion to adjourn.
Thank you. I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I know, it doesn't take much to make me verklempt, you know, it's like that's it.
Good evening. I'd like to call to order the special meeting of the Board of Selectmen-Elect to make appointments for ensuing terms. It's 5:30 p.m. And on the agenda, item 1 is the Board of Selectmen-Elect receive nominations and act on appointments to positions on the boards, commissions, offices, agencies, and other appointees of the town of Woodbridge for ensuing terms of office. I'd just like to read a quick statement before we get started. I would like to thank all who participated in the process. We're so grateful for the level of interest, the depth and breadth of talent and experience, and the courage and willingness to serve displayed by all the people who put their names forward. The generous offer of all to sacrifice time from family, friends, hobbies, sleep, and gainful employment to serve our town reminds us that we are one Woodbridge and that we all love this town and want to make it better. While going forward, I expect that we will have rich and robust discussions about how best to accomplish our goals. We can be passionate without being personal. We can be invested in the outcome but remain open-minded and able to listen. And we can reset when necessary by remembering all that we have in common. Let us strive to honor and respect each other. Let us be good stewards of our rich tradition of small-town democracy, because we know that process not only is an end in itself, but it makes the end result better. Please don't be disheartened if you are not appointed to a slot tonight, as we never lose the list of those who have volunteered to serve. We continue to need your input and assistance, and there will be many more opportunities. We will keep you in mind and seek to take full advantage of your generous offer of service. And on that note, we will begin. We will begin with the Board of Ethics, and there are 2 vacancies at this time. I would ask for nominations.
I'd like to make a nomination that Rabbi Rona Shapiro be nominated
Right,
for that
for one
commission.
vacancy. Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. All in, okay, are there any other nominations?
No, we don't have any nominations.
Okay. So I will call a vote for Rabbi Rona Shapiro for the first vacancy on Board of Ethics. All in favor?
Aye.
No, aye.
All opposed? It was unanimous? Yeah,
Yeah,
I almost said it's anonymous. It's
I fell
unanimous.
asleep because I know it doesn't matter. Yes, I'm sorry, I fell asleep.
Thank you. That was unanimous. Is there a second nomination for the second vacancy on the Board of Ethics?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion that we nominate Stephen Mosbach for the second vacancy on the Board of
Thank you.
Ethics.
Is there a second? Thank you, Joe. Are there any other nominations for the second vacancy? Nope. Okay, I'll call the vote for the second vacancy on the Board of Ethics. All in favor?
Aye.
That's it. Thank you. It's unanimous. Number 2 is the Board of Finance. There was a 2-year term that came about for the untimely death of David King. We will miss him. And I call, we'll do the 2-year term first, if that's okay. I would like nominations for the 2-year term to replace David King on the Board of Finance.
And I'd like to nominate Matt Giglietti for
Okay.
that term, for
Thank
that
you.
position.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other nominations for the 2-year term for the Board of Finance? Okay, so I will call the vote for the 2-year term for the Board of Finance vacancy. All in favor?
Aye.
It's all unanimous. Okay, thank you. Okay, there are 3 vacancies on the Board of Finance going forward. These are 4-year terms. Are there any nominations for the first vacancy?
I would like to nominate Thomas Kennefick for the first vacancy.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Are there any other nominations for that position?
I'd like to nominate Rob Rosasco.
Okay. You need a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Okay, thank you so much. We will take up the nomination first of Tom Kennefick for that position. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Position's filled. Thank you. I'd like to now take the second 4-year vacancy for the Board of Finance. Are there any nominations for the second vacancy?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Andrew Pels for the second
Thank you.
vacancy.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. It goes quick. Thank you. Are there any other nominations for that position for the Board of Finance?
No.
Okay, thank you, okay. So we'll now vote on the second vacancy for the Board of Finance, 4-year term. All those in favor of Andrew Pels?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. It's unanimous. And then the third vacancy, is there a nomination for the third vacancy 4-year position?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Susan Jacobs
Thank
for
you.
that
Is there a
position.
second?
Second.
Thank you. Are there other nominations for that position? Nope. Okay. So the nominations are closed. We will now vote on Susan Jacobs for the third vacancy for the Board of Finance. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Board of Fire Commissioners, there are 3 openings. There is a 2-year term, which is now vacant because of Mika Cardoza, who has moved up to the Board of Selectmen. So is there a nomination first for the 2-year term, which will expire in 2019?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Karen Baldwin-Kravitz for that
Thank you.
position.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you. Is there any other nominations for that 2-year spot? Okay, thank you. We'll now vote on the 2-year term to 2019 of Karen Baldwin-Kravitz. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
So is that unanimous?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep, okay.
Yeah, I'm voting. I mean, I'm gonna say at this point, the last 2 times I did this, I abstained because the process here escapes me, and I've been on record before. I don't wanna belabor that, but if anybody went back and looked, I abstained. I'm not abstaining this time. I'm just gonna vote because I've already ran my head against the wall twice. I'm not gonna do it again. And I know what's happening here is we're gonna nominate folks, and it's gonna go back, and our people are gonna kind of just get pushed aside, and that's the way it happens. So
I understand.
I'm voting, but
I was on the other side many years ago, and I get it.
I understand.
I understand, Joe.
But I
Thank
just
you.
felt like I should say that.
Sure. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, back to the first full year 4-year till 2019 Board of Fire Commissioners. Is it 2019? No, it's 2021 for the 4-year. Sorry. Board of Fire Commissioners position. Is there a nomination? for the
Yes, I'd
first
like
one?
to nominate Bruce Mandel for
Is
that
there-
position.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. You guys have any other nominations? No. Okay. We'll now vote on the 4-year term of Bruce Mandel to go back on the Board of Fire Commissioners. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. And there's a second opening for a 4-year term. I'm gonna do this. Yeah. Would you like to do this nomination? Let's cross it.
I mean, I guess
Okay.
I could, but yeah, we'll
Okay.
nominate Michael Sufrin.
Okay, for the 4-year term to 2000 on the Board of Fire Commissioners. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Are there any other nominations? Okay. We'll now vote on Michael Supreme for a 4-year term on the Board of Fire Commissioners. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thank you. We'll go to the Board of Police Commissioners. There are 2 vacancies, 2 incumbents. You guys like to make those
I'd like to
nominations?
nominate Stephen Felsiger.
That's a 4-year term to 2021.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second? Thank you. Do you have any other nominations? Okay. So we'll now vote on Stephen Falsigno for the 4-year term on the Board of Police Commissioners. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. That's unanimous. Thank you. And again, there's another incumbent.
I'd like to nominate Matthew Gilbride.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations for that spot?
No.
No, okay. All in favor of Matthew Gilbride for the 4-year term, it's the second vacancy on the Board of Police Commissioners. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Now we go to the Building Board of Appeals. There are 2 vacant positions. Are there any nominations for the first position
I'd
on
like
the
to-
Building Board of Appeals? Sorry,
I'd like to nominate Stephen Buda
for that first
position.
vacancy.
For the
Thank you.
first
Is there a
vacancy.
second?
I'll second that.
Okay, thank you. Do you guys have any other nominations for Building Board of Appeals? Okay, thank you. We'll now vote on Stephen Buda for the 4-year position on, is that 4 years? Yeah,
Yes.
okay, sorry, thank you. For the first vacancy on Building Board of Appeals. I think he's an incumbent. I'm
Yes.
not
Yes.
sure. Okay, good. All in favor? Aye. Okay, thank you. And then the second vacancy on the Building Board of Appeals, is there another second nomination for that
Yes, I'd like to
position?
nominate Patty McKeon for
Thank
that.
you. A second?
What's the name again?
Patty McKeon.
And there was a second. Joe, thank you, Joe. Do you guys have any other nominations for that?
No, we do not.
Okay, thank you. All in favor of Patty McKeon to fill the second vacancy on Building Board of
Aye.
Appeals? It's
Aye.
unanimous. Thank you. Okay. Sorry, excuse me. Next is the Conservation Commission. There are 4 openings, and let's start with the first one, I guess. First vacancy for a 4-year position.
I'd like to nominate Jason Morrill for that position.
Thank you. He's an incumbent.
A second.
Thank you. You guys have any nominations for that?
No.
No. Okay. So we'll now vote on Jason Morrill for the 4-year term on Conservation Commission. As I said, he is an incumbent. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Second vacancy for the Conservation Commission. You have a nomination?
For that vacancy, I'd like to nominate Tracy Cipriano.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Joe. You guys have any nominations for that position? Okay, thank you. So we'll vote on Tracy Cipriano for a 4-year on the Conservation Commission. She's also an incumbent. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. I had on my list someone who has not given the resume yet for the 3rd position. So I'd like to postpone that one, if that's okay. We'll do that in July. And so there'll be an opening for recreation, so get your thinking hats on,
Conservation.
conservation hats on, right, sorry. And then there's a 4th opening for that position, and I understand,
We would nominate Frank DeLeo.
thank you.
Second.
Second, thank you so much. We have any other nominations? Okay, thank you. We'll take a vote now on Frank DeLeo to be the 4th, fill the 4th vacancy on the Conservation Commission for 4 years. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Now we'll move on to CUPOP, what is it called actually? Committee on Publicly Owned Properties, correct?
Yep.
Thank you.
Use of public.
Commission on Public, what's the U for?
Commission on
Use.
Use of, thank you so
publicly
much.
owned property.
Thank you. I knew I was gonna flub up something. Okay, so far so good. Okay, we have a 2-year opening, first due to the election of Terry Schatz, who's coming off and going on the Board of Selectmen. So it's a 2-year term first. Do we have any nominations for that 2-year term?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Nancy Polk for that position.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you so much. You guys have any nominations for that? No? Okay, thank you. So we'll now vote on the 2-year term to 2019 of Nancy Polk for CUPOP. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Now we have 3 positions open for 4-year terms. First one, if you'd like to, would you like to make a nomination? Do we have
Yes,
nominations
I'd
for
like
that
to
first
nominate
vacancy? Sorry.
Leslie Lyons.
Thank you.
for
Is there
that.
a second?
Second.
Thank you. You guys have any nominations for that? Okay, thank you. We will now vote on the 4-year appointment of Leslie Lyons to CUPOP. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay. Did you vote? Okay, sorry. Thank you. Second vacancy for the CUPOP for a 4-year term. Is there any nominations
Yes,
for
I'd
the
like to
second
nominate
vacancy?
Patty McKeon.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you.
Can we
Guys have any
nominate somebody that was just nominated for another?
Right.
You can't
yes.
do
You
2.
can. You
Oh,
can be on
okay.
more than one.
Wasn't
Right.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys have any nominations for the second vacancy? No. Okay, so we'll take up the vote of Patty McKeon to go on the 4-year term on the second vacancy on CUPOP. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And there's a 3rd vacancy. Do you guys have any
We would
nominations?
nominate Martin Halpern.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Do we have any nominations other than that? No? Okay, thank you. So we'll now vote on the 3rd 4-year vacancy for CUPOP, Marty Halpern. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Move on to Economic Development Commission. There is a 2-year term that has become available. We couldn't figure out who resigned because there were so many people who had come and gone and everything else. So at this point, we will nominate just one person for the 2-year term of Economic Development.
I'd like to nominate Jody Belant for that.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second?
Thank you. Are there any other nominations for the 2-year term on economic development? Okay. So we will now vote on Jody Alon for the 2-year term on economic development to finish in 2019. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And then there are 4 other openings. One of them is we'll take up, we'll start with the first one. First vacancy on Economic Development Commission. We have a nomination.
Yes, I'd like to nominate Evan Trachin.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
You guys have any nominees for that?
No.
Okay, thank you. We will now vote on the first vacancy on economic development for a 4-year term. Evan is an incumbent, so we will now vote on Evan Tracton for that position. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. There are 3 more vacancies. There's a second vacancy. We'll take nominations for the second vacancy. Do you have a nomination?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Brooks Doherty.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second?
Thank you. You guys have any nominees for that? Nope. Okay, thank you. We will now vote on the second vacancy on economic development for a 4-year term, nominating Brooks Doherty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And now there's a third vacancy on that on economic development 4-year term.
Is this the last vacancy?
No.
No,
Two
there's
more.
I'm sorry, there's 4. There's 4 vacancies, right? Yeah. This is the third vacancy. Did I say 4th?
No, you said.
No, you said 3. I just wanted to be sure there was one
There
more.
are 4.
coming.
There are. Yep.
We have
Okay.
a-
Thank you for being on top of me though, because I'm getting already. By the time we get to recreation, I'm going to be a blithering idiot. Okay. Third nomination for economic development 4-year term. Are there any nominations?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Michael Holland.
Are there any other? I'm sorry. Are there a second?
Second.
Thank you. You guys have any other nominations for that? No? Okay. We'll now vote on the third vacancy for the 4-year term on Economic Development Commission on Michael Holland. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you so much. And there is a 4th vacancy. You guys have a
Yes.
nominee?
We do. David?
We have
Thank you.
Viviana Livesay.
Let's see.
Let's say.
Let's see.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Thank you. Do we have any other nominations?
Do not.
No. Okay. We'll now vote on the 4th 4-year term on Economic Development Commission for Viviana Livesay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, thank you. EMS Commission. There are 3 vacancies. We have a nomination for the first vacancy.
Yes, I'd like to nominate Alan Davidson.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
You guys have any nominations for that spot?
No.
Okay, thank you. We'll now vote on the 4-year term of EMS Commission, first vacancy of Alan Davidson. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. There's a second vacancy on that commission. Do we have a nomination?
We do. I'd like to nominate Ben Cherry for that
Thank
position.
you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Do you guys have any nominees for that spot? Okay, thank you. All those in favor of Ben Cherry to fill the second vacancy 4-year term on EMS Commission? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay. And then there's a third vacancy. Do you have any nominations?
Yes, we would nominate Roy M. Ivins.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Do you have any other nominations?
Do not.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor of Roy Ivins to serve on the fill the third vacancy 4-year term on EMS Commission? All those in favor? Aye. Thank you. There's got to be an easier way to say this. I'm running out of, I'm sorry, just one sec. Sorry. Okay, we're moving on to Government Access Television. There's a 2-year term, and it has been vacated by Nancy Polk, and with your permission, we'd like to hold that off till July, because Nancy just got appointed to, where did she go? Coop-Pop. So think of your people for July, okay? Get to your nominating committee for that first vacancy, 2-year term. Second vacancy is a 4-year term on Government Access Television. Do you have any nominees?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Richard Kruger.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Have any other
No.
nominees for that? Okay, thank you. All those in favor of Richard Kruger, to serve the 4-year term on Government Access TV? Second vacancy.
Aye.
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 Thank you. And there's a third vacancy on that, or a second four-year term vacancy on that board. Do you have any nominations for that second vacancy?
Yes, I'd
four-year
like to
term?
nominate Toby Wangu.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. You guys have any other? Okay, thank you. All those in favor of Toby Wangu for the second four-year vacancy on Government Access TV Commission? Those in
Aye.
favor? Aye. Okay, thank you. We move on to Human Services Commission. There are 5 vacancies. We'll start with vacancy number 1. I think these are all four-year terms. I don't see anything that isn't, so we'll start with the first vacancy, four-year term on Human Services Commission. Do you have a nomination?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Mary Lee Sapshin.
Do we have a second? Okay, thank you. Have any nominees for that? Okay. All those in favor of Mary Lee Sapshin for a four-year term on Human Services Commission?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Second vacancy on Human Services Commission. Do we have a nominee?
I do. I'd like to nominate Nancy Lee Atwood.
Is there a second?
Second.
Do you have any nominations for second vacancy?
No.
Okay, we'll now vote on Nancy Atwood to fill the second vacancy for four-year term on Human Services Commission. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. There's a third vacancy on Human Services Commission. Do we have a nominee for the third vacancy?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Jennifer Clark Lofters.
Are there any, I'm sorry, is there a second? Sorry. Thank you. Do you have any?
Yes, we do have.
Okay.
Nominate Gloria Aarons.
Second.
She's later.
She's later.
Yeah.
Yep. Do you want to do it now?
Well, no, because then you have to vote, you don't want to do that.
Yeah,
Well, wait a
because
minute.
then we'll turn it down. There's 5 vacancies.
Yeah.
You've got 2 more left.
We
Yeah.
got 2 left.
Yeah, but we have 3 folks.
You have 3 folks? Oh, so then you gotta do it now.
Well, let Janet Charleglio and Viviana Livesay are incumbents.
Mhm.
We haven't gotten there yet, right? Okay. So,
You want to nominate Gloria? Okay. Okay. Gloria Aarons for the third vacancy on Human Services Commission.
and then we're gonna
Yep.
nominate the 2 incumbents.
That's fine. Okay, so we will.
Do you have anybody to nominate against our 2 incumbents? Maybe okay, so then,
Okay.
that's, yeah.
So there's a second on Gloria
Yes.
Aarons, okay? Fine. So we'll take up the nomination first of Jennifer Clark Lofters to go on the 4-year vacancy on Human Services Commission. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposition to Gloria?
Yeah.
Yes. You too? Opposed? Okay. Okay, the position is filled 4-2 for
No, I get that.
Human Services.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's a pro
thank you.
forma opposition.
Right.
Okay, it's fine. It's okay.
Whole thing is pro forma.
Okay, thank you. Okay, and there are 2 other vacancies for Human Services Commission.
So we would nominate Janet Charleglio.
Thank you, and you'll second. Okay, do we have any other nominations for that spot? We don't, okay. All those in favor of Janet Charleglio to serve out the 4-year, she's an incumbent, right?
Right,
4-year term
she is.
on Human Services Commission. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you, that's unanimous. And then your second nomination for
It would
Board of
be,
Fire Commissioners.
Viviana
I'm
Livesay.
sorry, Board of Human Services.
Human Services. So
Sorry.
that's right, we would nominate Viviana Livesay.
Okay, fine, is there a second? Thank you. We have no nominations for that spot?
No.
Okay, all those in favor of Viviana Livesay to serve out the 4-year term? She's an incumbent, I think, right?
She is.
Yeah, okay, all those in favor of Viviana?
Aye.
Okay, thank you so much. Moving on to inland wetlands. You guys good? Okay. We have, let's see, 3 vacancies on, for 4-year terms on that commission. Is there a nomination for the first vacancy?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Robert Blythe.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any nominations for the first vacancy on inland wetlands?
No.
Okay, thank you. Now take up the nomination of Robert Blythe to serve 4 years on inland wetlands. He's an incumbent. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Second vacancy is, do you have any nominations for the second vacancy on Inland Wetlands Agency?
Yes, we do. I'd like to nominate Barry Josephs.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Any nominations for the second vacancy?
I'd like to nominate Maria Kane.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. We will take up the nomination of Barry Josephs to fill 4-year term on inland wetlands. He is an incumbent. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Okay, thank you. Position's filled.
Great.
Thank you. And we have one more vacancy on inland wetlands 4-year position. Do we have any nominations for that spot?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Joshua Goldberg, moving up from the alternate position.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Have any other nominations for that spot? No. Okay. All those in favor of Joshua Goldberg, a 4-year term on inland wetlands agency?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Joe?
Yes.
Okay, thanks, sorry. And then there's a 4-year alternate made possible in that spot because Joshua Goldberg moved up to Inland Wetlands Agency, full spot. We have a nomination for the alternate on Inland Wetlands.
I'd like to nominate Josh Lemon.
Is there
for
a
that.
second?
I'll second.
Do you guys have a nomination for
No.
that one? Okay, thank you. All those in favor of Josh Lemon to serve as an alternate on Inland Wetlands Agency?
Aye.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you. All right. Moving on to the Library Commission. There are 5 vacancies. Yep. Do you have a nomination for the first vacancy on Library Commission?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Jeanette Glixman.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Do you have any nominations for the first spot?
No.
Okay, thank you. All those in favor of Jeanette Glixman to serve a 4-year term? She's an incumbent, by the way, and also serving right now as the chairman on the Library Commission. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Second vacancy on the Library Commission. Do we have any nominations for the second vacancy, 4-year
Yes,
term?
I'd like to nominate Renee Bourgeois.
Thank you. What was that middle name? I like that. You said that.
I like it, that's why I
I
said
didn't
it.
dare say it. I'm going to just say Renee Bollier when we get to it. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Do you have a nomination for the second spot on Library Commission?
No.
Okay. All those in favor of Renee Bollier to serve a 4-year term? She's also an incumbent on the Library Commission, second vacancy. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Third vacancy on the Library Commission. Do we have a nomination?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Judy Young.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Do you have a nomination for that spot? No? Okay, all those in favor of Judy Young serving on 4-year term? She's not an incumbent, she's new. On the 4-year spot, third vacancy of the Library Commission. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. Fourth vacancy on Library Commission. Do you have a nomination?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Ellen Spark.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Have a nomination for that spot?
Yes.
Go. Okay.
Yeah, Ginny Calistro.
Okay, thank you. And you'll second that? Okay. All those in favor of Ellen Spark to serve 4 years Library Commission, 4th spot?
Aye.
Aye.
Yeah.
Opposed? Okay. Position's filled. 5th vacancy on the Library Commission. Do we have a nomination?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Emily Sharp.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Do you have a nomination for the 5th
No.
spot on Library Commission? All those in favor of Emily Sharp to fill the 5th vacancy for 4-year term on Library Commission?
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, Recreation Commission. There are 4 openings. Do we have a nomination for these are all 4-year terms for the first vacancy on Recreation Commission?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Andrea Weinstein.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Thank you. Are there any other nominations for that spot? Thank you. All those in favor of Andrea Weinstein for the first vacancy, 4-year term on Recreation Commission?
Aye.
It's
Aye.
unanimous, thank you. There's a second vacancy on Recreation Commission. Do we have a nomination?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Jane Shernow.
Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. We have a nomination for Recreation, second vacancy.
No.
Thank you. Now take up to vote on Jane Chernow, 4-year term on Recreation Commission. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Third vacancy on the Recreation Commission. Do we have a nomination?
Yeah, do that.
You want to do that last?
Well, doesn't matter. I will
Okay.
nominate Dwight Rowland.
There's,
if
okay,
you want
thank
me
you. Yes,
You want to?
yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know
Okay.
if you were gonna go through yours first and then, but I'll nominate Dwight
We're
Rowland.
gonna co-endorse him, so it's all good. You'll second Dwight Rowland, thank you. We have a nomination for the third vacancy on Recreation, we do not. All those in favor of Dwight Rowland to serve a 4-year term on Recreation Commission, 4-year vacancy, thank
Aye.
you. Thank you, okay. And the fourth person, we do not, we had a nominee and we haven't gotten his resume, so I'd like to hold that one to July if possible, unless you have somebody to pop in.
We do not have one as
Okay.
of right now, so
So
we
we'll
can
do that
hold
one in July.
to July.
Get your thinking caps on for that spot. Thank you. Now we'll move on to the Sperry Park Committee. There are 3 openings. We have a nomination for the first spot on,
I would like to nominate Jane Chernow
is
for
there
the
a
first
second?
spot.
I'll second.
Thank you. We have a nominee for that spot, first vacancy on Sperry Park.
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, thank you. Jane is 4 years. Second vacancy on Sperry Park Committee. Do we have a nomination?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Sergeant Anthony Capiello.
Take over his father's shoes, right? Frank resigned.
Big shoes to
Thank you.
fill.
Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you. Do you have a nominee for that spot?
No.
Okay, thank you. Now take up the nomination of AJ Capiello for the 4-year term on Sperry Park Committee. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And there is a third opening.
Yes, we would nominate Michael Walter.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Yep.
Thank you. Do we have any other nominees? Okay, all those in favor of Michael Walter for a 4-year term on Sperry Park Committee?
Aye.
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 It's unanimous, thank you. We're moving on to Town Plan and Zoning Commission. 1, 2, 3 vacancies on the Town Plan and Zoning Commission. We have a nomination for the first vacancy.
Yes, I'd like to nominate Paul Schatz for the first
Do we have a
vacancy.
second?
I'll second.
Do you have a nominee for that spot?
No.
Okay. All those in favor of Paul Schatz serving a 4-year term on Town Plan and Zoning Commission?
Aye.
Thank you. Second vacancy, do we have a nomination?
We do. I'd like to nominate Lawrence Greenberg for that position.
Thank you. Should have said Paul Schatz is an incumbent, as is Larry Greenberg. Do we have a second for Larry?
Second.
Thank you. Do you have a nomination for the second vacancy on Town Plan and Zoning?
No, those are incumbent Republicans.
Yes, they
Just
are.
for the record. So
Yes,
we
they
don't have
are.
it. I
Okay.
thought we were gonna do those, but it's
Okay.
fine, but that's why
Okay.
we don't have anybody for
Okay.
it.
All those in favor of Lawrence Greenberg for a 4-year term on Town Planning and Zoning Commission to fill the second spot?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, and then there's a third vacancy. Do we have a nomination for the third vacancy?
Yes, I'd like to nominate Stephen Skowronek.
Thank you. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay, thank you. We have a nomination for the third vacancy on Town Plan and Zoning.
There's an alternate also. So, you wanna
Steve and I will
It's up
add,
to you.
moved up from alternate.
it's up to, yeah.
Okay,
I nominate Kathy Wood.
okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. All those in favor of Stephen Skowronek to fill the 4-year vacancy on Town Plan and Zoning Commission, the third vacancy, I should have said. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? The position's filled. Okay, thank you. Now we move on to alternates. There are 2 vacancies. Do we have a nomination for the first vacancy as alternates on Town Plan and Zoning Commission?
Yes, I'd like to alternate Jeff Kennedy.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Do we have any other nominations?
I'll nominate Harold Smullins.
Okay, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, thank you. Now take up the nomination of Jeff Kennedy to serve as an alternate for a 4-year term on Town Plan and Zoning Commission. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Thank you. The position's filled. And now we move on to the second vacancy. This position became available as Andy Pels moved up to the Board of Finance. Do we have a nomination for that spot?
Yes, I'd like to nominate David Glassman.
Thank you. Is there
I'll
a second?
second.
Okay, do you guys have a nomination for the second vacancy? Okay, thank you. All those in favor of David Glassman to serve as a second alternate on Town Plan and Zoning Commission for your term?
Aye.
Thank you, that's unanimous. Okay, so that settles the appointed, correct? I've gotten through all of those. Thank you. Joe, you were wrong.
You're starting off well, Beth.
I know, thank you. Okay, now there has become a, should I do this first or zoning board of appeals? Okay. Okay, let me just get my papers out on that. Okay. Due to the untimely death of Edie Lockyer, there is a vacancy on an elected board, which is the zoning board of appeals. And are there any nominations to fill that 2 years of her 4-year term?
We nominate Spencer K. Rubin.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Do we have any other nominations?
Do not.
Okay. All those in favor of Spencer Rubin to fill out the last 2 years of Edie Lockyer's 4-year term on the Zoning Board of Appeals?
Aye.
All in
Aye.
favor, thank you. And Joe and I talked this afternoon, there's an alternate position that becomes available of Spencer
July.
Rubin. Right, we'll do that, defer that to July, so that's an elected position, okay. Thank you so much. That's done. Now, there's some other positions which my wonderful Mrs. Shaw reminded me of that have to be done tonight. There's some of them that we're gonna do in July, but I went through them today with Joe on the phone, and we have 3 vacancies on a regional board, which is Cablevision of Southern Connecticut, Cable Advisory Council. We have 3 vacancies on this, this board. Do we have a nomination for that, or? Can I
You
do
could say-
those?
you can
I
do
do those,
that.
okay, because it's just pro forma, I guess
Just the
these are
first
first
selectmen,
selectmen
right.
appointments, and I guess you guys just vote on them, pro forma. Okay, I'd like to put forward the name of Aaliyah Alexiadis for the first vacancy. Do we do them all
You can do
together?
them all together,
All right,
yeah.
thank you. Second vacancy, Aaliyah's an incumbent, by the way. Second person I'd like to put the name forward of is Cindy Gerber. She's also an incumbent on that. And the third person I'd like to nominate or put forward is Mark Levine. And so I would ask that the Board of Selectmen approve the nominations of the 3 appointments of Aaliyah Alexiadis, Cindy Gerber, and Mark Levine to Cable Advisory Council. It's a 2-year term, by the way.
Is there a second?
You don't even need a
We need a
second.
nomination first.
She just-
Or do
No,
I
you just did
nominate
it.
him?
Yeah,
Okay,
you just-
I
you just vote
nominated
on
him,
it.
okay, thank you. I'll get better at this, I promise. Is there a second? Thank you, Joe. Do you have a
You don't,
nomination?
you, no, you
That's
don't.
it, I'm
No,
just
no,
doing
you
it,
just
right,
do it.
okay.
You just do it.
All
Just-
those in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
thank you. There's a representative to Central Regional Tourism, 3-year term to 2021. Currently, it's Betsy Yagla. I would nominate Betsy Yagla. Is there a second?
Second.
You
Thank
don't
you.
even need a second. Just-
Okay, thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Census taker is a 2-year term to 2019. The current is Stephanie Charliglio. I would like to put her name forward again for a 2-year term to 2019 as census taker. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Joe. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. There are two 2-year terms opening up for hearing officers to 2019. I'd like to put forward the name of Aaliyah Alexiadis, who is an incumbent, and I would also put forward the name of Pat Madden for the second hearing officer 2-year term to 2019. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. And the town treasurer is the next one that opens up. Thank you, Jerry Shaw, for keeping me legal on all this stuff. There's a 2-year term of a town treasurer. Harry Cooper is the current treasurer, and she has resigned. 2-year term to 2019. I would like to appoint Alan Rice. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you, Joe. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thanks. Okay. Next one that becomes available is a tree warden. It's a 1-year term to 2018. Our current tree warden is Warren Connors. I would nominate Warren Connors for a 1-year term to 2018 as our tree warden. Second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. We have a deputy tree warden, 1-year term to 2018. Current is Adam Parsons. I would like to nominate again Adam Parsons for that 1-year term. Deputy tree warden, is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you. A couple of other positions that I have to take care of is nominating a town council for a 2-year term, and I would like to appoint Jerry Weiner as our town council for 2 years. And I believe at this time we just do the nomination first, and then we have to also
Do it
talk
together
about.
with the second.
Okay, and then the second one is,
Oh, no,
oh, I'm sorry, do the.
do that first, the
Okay.
salary.
Okay.
You gotta get the salary.
And then at a salary of $78,000 for a term of 7/1/17 to.
Month or, you know,
A month, yeah, it's a month. Right, to June 30th, 2019. Is there a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Any discussion?
Aye.
Yeah, we can have discussion, sure.
No, is that the current salary? I was
His
just
current
curious.
salary
The current
is.
salary, it's scheduled to be $73,200, but there haven't had an increase since 2014 on the
I know,
cost
I
of, so
voted on that.
this catches up.
It's fine, I just thought that the record should indicate
I
that
think
we're
that's
not
right,
only voting,
yeah.
Right.
there's an
Right.
increase.
Thank
Yes,
you.
there is.
It is an increase, thank you.
I didn't know there was, but I wanted, but
I
now
just
that
found
know
out. Okay. And there was a second on that?
Second.
Thank you. All those in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
And I'd
Okay.
ask that, I have to enter into a retainer agreement, I ask that Beth be authorized to sign a retainer agreement on behalf of the town, reflecting the salary. That's all. You don't have to
Okay.
vote on that.
Oh, okay, thank you. And then the second item, or actually the millionth item we have to vote on is, all right, I get to appoint a labor consultant for a 2-year term. It used to be a 4-year term. We're going to recommend that it's a 2-year term for, and I would like to nominate David Ryan to July 1st, 2017 to June 30th, 2019, 2-year term. I can tell you the current salary is $5,250 a month. He will receive an increase of $5,376 a month.
2,500.
Yeah.
Two.
It's
Double the salary.
253.76
Right,
from
right.
52.61.
Right, sorry, okay.
It's only a couple $100.
Right, thank you. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion?
No.
All those in favor?
Aye.
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 Okay, I think that's it. Okay. Anything
Good?
else? Yeah, thank you all for coming.
Before we adjourn, can
Sure.
I just say one thing?
Of course you
real quick?
can.
So, and there was one other name that I would have wanted to put up for a Board of Finance if I thought we would have a meaningful nomination, and that was Anthony Anastasio, because I really think his experience, his training, his education, he would have been great on that board. Coming off 4 years on the Board of Selectmen, and I really think that he would have served the town well on that board. The reason I didn't nominate him is because I didn't think it was fair and respectful to him to put his name up just to be disregarded. So I did want to say that for the record.
I thank you, Joe. Thank you.
Thank you.
Now we need a motion to adjourn.
We did number 2, right? Full-time appointment. Total position is 623.
Oh, that's.
Oh, I'm sorry. Thank you, Joe. Way to be there. Thank you. Okay, I lost my agenda. I do that all the time. I borrow your
For a quick
agenda.
second. Thank you.
No, never mind. I found it. Okay, we talked about this at the last meeting. At one point, the current Board of Selectmen, that we have a very pregnant Betsy Yagla, and I spoke with Betsy and I spoke with Jerry Shaw that we might need some temporary full-time help until Betsy comes back, I hope, right after Thanksgiving. And I spoke with Tony about this, and he helped me make this happen. And I would like to nominate Sheila McCrevin for the temporary full-time appointment to fill the position of Assistant Administrative Officer while that person is on leave of absence. I don't know if I need a vote on it or not, but we could if
You
that
really
made
don't
you
need
feel
it.
better.
You don't
Okay.
need a vote on it.
I just
Yeah.
wanted to let you all know, and I thought it was important because it's temporary full-time. There aren't benefits, or it's just a straight, salary. So poorly. And I just wanted to let everyone know. Okay, I think I told all the parties ahead of time that we're going to be affected by it, so nobody would be finding out on television tonight. Thank you. Thanks, Joe, for number 2. You're the best. Thank you.
I have a motion if we could entertain if necessary.
Is it something that is on the agenda?
No, well, basically, I just wanted to make a motion that all the departing members from the boards and commissions receive a letter of appreciation from the Board of Selectmen and Board of Selectmen-Elect.
I think that's completely appropriate, right, to add
Yes,
to the
yes,
agenda,
and
okay.
Jerry does that.
Thank
I
you
think
very
it's a
much. I
great
think Jerry
idea. I
does
don't
that,
know.
but I think that's a great idea to
Good thing.
remind everybody that we do want to say thank you.
Yeah,
If
we
you
do
caught-
that every.
Great.
Good, then,
When
Okay,
anyone leaves
wonderful.
a board or
That's such a
commission,
nice idea, thank
we
you.
send a-
from both
a
boards.
thank you.
Yep,
Yeah.
thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, now we'll do the motion to adjourn, and my apologies for missing number 2. Sorry, Sheila. Motion
Make
to
a
adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
Thank you. Is there a second?
Second?
All those in favor? Thank you.